Hello, Alex. So, as I was telling everyone, we're going to start in a few minutes. I'm just waiting for people to filter in. Okay, great.
For a second, when you said about like closer to 12:15, so I was like, oh, I think I'll just prepare and
Yeah,
relax a bit.
that's right. Take deep breaths. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the order is going to be Alex and then you, okay, Matt?
Okay.
All right, awesome. Right. Let me just check on Cola here.
I'll be back. Just need to get some coffee.
Go for it.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. So, we'll be starting in a few minutes. We are just waiting for folks to filter in. Thank you for joining. Can you hear me, Fabian?
Hello?
Perfect, perfect. Yeah. Did you hear what I said?
Now,
Oh, okay. I said we'll be starting in a few minutes. We're just waiting for people to filter in. And thanks for joining us.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. So, Raul, how did you hear about this?
About the meeting,
Yes.
Louis sent it to me. Louis Pacheco sent me the link this earlier today,
Okay.
and yeah, that's how I got it.
Okay. And I'm assuming
Yeah.
Fabian also. Okay, great.
Yes.
Happy to have you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I know,
Yeah,
Faye. Yeah,
yeah, I think
we're both coming from Louis.
Beautiful.
yeah, we're co-workers.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, so I'm gonna just explain more once we get Cola in, who is the director of the school. So once he comes
Okay.
in, then I'll start to give more of the breakdown of what's going on today. Okay. And I don't know why he's not in, but I'm gonna give him another call. So excuse the mute.
Yeah, go ahead.
Welcome, welcome. We're gonna start shortly. Just waiting for people to filter in. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
can hear you now.
Hi, sorry for the delay. I was having some issues.
Yes, you got a lot of people filtering in. Are you coming in? Okay. Cola. Yes. Where are these people coming from? Somebody about no, no, no. Where are the people that are filtering into the video chat coming from? That's fine. So who is Luis? What organization is this? But they're in. So uh, I don't see your point. I don't see your point. I don't see your point. We're about to start. Let me know, where are these people coming from? Who am I talking to with these other people that are here now? Who is Luis? Who? What organization? All right, all right. Well, I can't deal with that right now. I'm going to just do this graduation, and if they're here, they're here. If they're not, they're not. We're about to start in 3 minutes. Okay, great. All right. So we're at T minus 2 minutes. We're at T minus 2 minutes. We got the director here. So I am going to start breaking down why you guys are here. So you're here to view what we call the final presentation, right? This is after students complete their respective training courses. They now give us a final presentation just to see where their confidence is, where their technical abilities are, and basically, this is the light part of the course, right? So they're going to explain something to you that they're passionate about using the technologies that they've learned. Some people have gone through the computer applications course, and some people have gone through the customer service representative course. So at the end of the day, you still have to be able to speak your opinions in a way that other people can retain, and they think are they're intelligent, and they show that you know what you're talking about. And so that's what the exercise here, and we're really glad that you're here to witness it, because these gentlemen have put a lot of effort into what they're about to communicate to you. Some have spent 36 weeks, some have spent 9 weeks, and so this is their culmination. And before they start, I would like to pass the mic to our director, who is on the call here, Kola Onofowade. So, Kola, do you have anything you want to say? You're on mute. You're on mute. You're still on mute, Kola. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Okay, I got it. Thank you. Yeah. So, well, welcome everyone. And this is a special day to see you guys, to see these faces. Some of you I spoke to you on the phone, and some I met, like Alex. And anyway, so I'm really excited, and I've been talking with your instructor. We really felt great that you guys did made it, and I'm really looking forward in meeting you in person. And but I do know that you've accomplished a lot, and your instructor worked with you diligently to make this a success. And I noticed that those of you that did the presentations, I know it was a challenge, but it's something that I know is beneficial. So welcome, and I'm here to enjoy what you got.
All
So
right.
back to you, Alpha.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, without further ado, we're gonna start our presentation. I'll just put the backdrop. So the backdrop is the pandemic. How did you make it through, and what made it what makes coming out a success for you? So here we're gonna have individuals talk about what helped them get through the pandemic. All right, first up is Alex Lee, and he's gonna share his screen and share his presentation.
Great.
Can you, everyone else, please put on mute while the presentation is going? Thank you. And then Alex, unmute yourself and do the present. Alex, unmute yourself and do the present now.
Yeah, hold on. I just want to be sure I'm doing it right.
Perfect.
Okay. Here we go. I'm Alex Lee, and today I'm going to be talking about Jackbox TV and how it helped me get through the COVID pandemic. First things first, the COVID pandemic has upended various aspects of our personal and daily lives, causing major gatherings to be completely scrapped or tremendously modified accordingly. The personal effects it had on me was that, I ended up spending more time at home and less traveling, and not being able to hang out physically with the friends that I love to hang out with, which includes, not to mention, the canceling of a lot of physical in-person events, and some that are even my favorite, like the poetry slams and the various concerts at school in the evening. However, as we progress through the pandemic, we have managed to adapt to telecommuting and online socialization, one of them at least being virtual gaming with voice chat, in which Jackbox TV, a platform that we have been using a lot lately, is one of them that has become very successful. Jackbox TV has resulted in the slow reopening and return of face-to-face meetings, not to mention that in some Jackbox game nights, which would have been taking place at school, it would involve prizes that could be picked up for use at Starbucks or Pete's. Jackbox TV is one of the most popular gaming systems online and is said to be essentially the party gaming platform which resembles classic social games. Some games on the Jackbox platform can spark a lot of humor or engage all players to work together as a team depending on the game. Two notable examples of the Jackbox platform are Quiplash and Devil in the Details. In my experience, while playing Quiplash, you can, make a response, and there are various themes and topics to go through. Some of them can spark a lot of humor, or even you can make a response that's very embarrassing. The only downside, and even in my experience, is that depending on the audience, the points that can be scored can be very hard to achieve because of such subjective audience. In Devil and the Details, in my experience, we could work together as a team, and it will engage all players because the players would want to engage in various tasks in very limited time as possible, in which the players would basically have to have very fast reflexes to complete tasks. Jackbox, your friends can join in on all the fun. Even multiple people can participate by entering the specified room code. Sometimes, depending on the platform, the host can live stream the session. All it takes is to share the screen. Jackbox TV can be used on various platforms such as Discord, a popular platform usually for students alike, Zoom, a second most common staple which most school institutions use, or Steam, which is basically the dedicated gamers platform. With Discord, which is a platform that even I have been using very frequently, it can be used for live streaming with the accommodation of many users at a time without slowing down the bandwidth. There's also a lot of chatting that can be happening, and a lot of content or photos or pictures can be posted on the chat box. Zoom is a second common platform that I have been using, which is just like most institutions. It includes video chat and voice chat, and can share the screen as a host displaying the room code. However, the only downside with using Zoom was that the more people that join Jackbox, it can start bringing down the bandwidth and causing the game to lag, in the case with my experience gaming through Zoom, since most of the games that we do already use a lot of bandwidth. Steam has been said to be the best method to use Jackbox, and it's easy to share screen on video call. In closing, Jackbox, as well as other online platforms alike, will prevail now and post-pandemic. It bridges the social gap for many, since many people will probably have busy schedules or maybe not want to commute to events because of long distance challenges. Even in my experience, it helped me stay connected with friends because sometimes I have busy obligations, whether it's with my own personal obligations or with family, or because maybe I don't want to commute because the distance is a challenge for me. And that's the end.
Well done, Alex. Well done. So I hope you guys have some questions, but we're going to save that till the end of our next presentation. So next up is Matt, and he's going to be talking about what he did to get through the recent pandemic. So I appreciate your guys' patience for the questions, and now it's on to Matt. Make sure you mute. Thank you.
Okay, I'm Matt Haney, and this is my presentation, Dungeons & Dragons in the Era of Social Distancing. What is Dungeons & Dragons, and what is it meant to me? Well, Dungeons & Dragons is a pen and paper role-playing game in a fantasy setting. Think like Lord of the Rings. And there's two roles that players have in Dungeons & Dragons. That of either the player character, which drive the story, or the Dungeon Master, which tells the story. And it's all about the collaborative effort between the two and the adventures that are crafted. It's a really great creative outlet. For me personally, it's something I didn't discover until after high school, and it really scratched an itch I didn't know I had before that. I used to play more when I was younger, but it's an excellent excuse to get together with friends. It's nice because you can socially interact with them, but at the same time, there's a fantasy element, so you can escape a bit from the stresses in real life. So, COVID-19 and its impact on pen and paper tabletop gaming. COVID-19 has had a major impact on all of us over the last year. For most of us, it's meant a lot less interaction with friends and group activities that have to be postponed or modified. So public gaming spaces closed. These were mostly gaming stores that would have the public spaces where you could play. But since the pandemic has had customers weren't allowed inside, they had to go to selling remotely. That wasn't really an option. The other option was the players' various private residences. But, that's also very risky. Just, with you don't want anyone or their family or friends getting sick. It's not worth it. The online infrastructure is already available to game remotely. So thankfully, in the last half decade, there's been some big advances in virtual tabletop gaming. Similar to how meeting technology has kind of exploded in the pandemic and momentum and exposure. In some ways, the online virtual tabletop allows for a more immersive experience that's more cinematic because you can have pictures, links to videos, more intricate maps than your arts usually allows for. Whereas playing on the tabletop more became a lot more theater of the mind, using your imagination. It doesn't completely replace the social aspects of meeting up with your friends and having a good time, but it definitely works in the meantime and fills out a bit. For me, it was especially powerful to me personally because in January of 2019, I suffered a spinal cord injury, and I was in a wheelchair for half a year. I couldn't drive for quite a while, so I had a lot of less face-to-face contact with my friends and a lot of people I knew. And the nice thing was this was the one part of my life that didn't really have to change too much. It stayed the same because of its remote nature. So Roll20, the virtual tabletop platform. So it's like an online version of the table you would all gather or play around. And it comes with a wide variety of art assets. It comes with a decent amount of free stuff as far as maps, character tokens, and monsters. You can also upload anything you make yourself. And the third option is they have some premium sets that they sell, often attached to campaigns or stories. Those are more intricate and are pretty spectacular. So there's interactive map effects on this virtual tabletop. Like if you shoot a fireball, it will put a radius around where the distance of the explosion will go, or if your character gets poisoned, you can put a marker on there to mark and remind you that it's happening. Or if you're in one room, you can have line of sight turned on so that you can't see the entire building. And it keeps it a lot more realistic and builds tension in that way. So there's integrated character sheets in Roll20. You make your characters like usual. One of the nice kind of convenience features is that you can click on skills or spells, and it will automatically put it into the virtual tabletop. So it saves you having to do a lot of the math that's involved when you're doing it on your own. So there is integrated video and audio in the Roll20 platform. It's not the highest quality, but it's something. If you want it all in one place, you can get it. But as you can see also with the portraits down at the bottom, it also kind of gets in the way of the map too. It gets a little crowded. The last thing is upgradable APIs. And APIs are custom scripts often made by players from JavaScript, and they can be something as simple as making macros or adding in non-native to Roll20 character sheets. It allows for another level of customization. So D&D Beyond is the other website I mainly use. It's an excellent resource. It serves as a bridge to several other platforms, including Roll20 and Discord, which I'll discuss in a little bit. And it's a comprehensive online reference. So it has fully immersive character sheets. It's very nice. It takes you through step by step. It shows you all the options. It has links to the references, so you know exactly what you're choosing. And the nice thing is, once it's open in one window and you've synced it with Roll20, anything you do in the D&D Beyond sheet will show up in Roll20 and or Discord if you synced it with Discord. So what's nice also is through D&D Beyond, you can buy any Dungeons & Dragons book that's been published. You can buy digitally. And while it costs the same as the regular ones, the nice thing is that there's a feature for $6 a month that allows you to share whatever books you have with all the other players in your group. So instead of each person having to pay like $30 for a player's handbook, one person can have it. They can have the premium one, and everyone in the group can have access to that book and share it amongst. So it's a real nice value, and you can do it for up to 5 different campaigns or stories told, and 12 players in each. This website is also a huge repository of articles. Everything from better explaining game mechanics to the hierarchical structure of demons in the underworld. Online communication platforms. This is the other part. This is where the virtual tabletop is where you play. This is how you communicate and connect with each other. So the first is Discord. It's a gaming-oriented communication platform. And it has a message board functionality that is really useful. You can schedule games with it. You can communicate non-verbally if someone else is talking. You can post pictures, videos, links to rules. You can also use it. There's some parts of gaming where maybe your characters are going to buy all their supplies, so that's not that fun for everyone involved, but it needs to be done, and you can take care of that with text and not waste the time you guys have together gaming. So it does have audio and video support. As you can see in an example of Discord there on the left side, there's a whole bunch of different channels, and players can hop in those various rooms and talk to one another. And also, like, if a dungeon master needs to have a one-on-one with another player, they can just hop into a different channel, communicate there, and the other players can remain in the other one and talk with one another. There's also video support, which is excellent. And one feature I like especially is you can choose to only share video-wise just one tab. So if you're a dungeon master and you have another document open with the locations of all the treasure, you can make sure that you only have that one tab showing open so you don't mistakenly reveal where all the treasure in the dungeon is. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is bots. And these are programs that they help you run the game more smoothly, and they serve some extra functions. The first is Rhythm. It's an audio bot. You invite Rhythm into your Discord server, and Rhythm can interact and pull music from YouTube. And people have made these awesome, huge playlists of fantasy music or combat music that you can pull and listen to. And if the music on Rhythm is too loud, you can turn them down just like you can any other player. So that's a really nice feature too, so the music doesn't overpower. The next is Sidekick, and Sidekick is a dice rolling ball. Sidekick can, if you don't have dice with you, you can type in commands for what type of dice you want to roll, and Sidekick can manage any of it. Sidekick is also versatile enough on other game systems that don't necessarily roll the standard type of Dungeons and Dragons dice. It can be configured to run and roll them too. So the last bot here is Abrave, and it's a bot that connects Discord with D&D Beyond. So your D&D Beyond character sheet can be totally loaded into Discord. You can run all of your commands through Discord if you have Abrave running. It's really useful. So business platforms can also be adapted to gaming. Zoom is it has breakout rooms for smaller groups, which is nice. It has higher quality video and audio. It also allows you to share content from your screen as well as a second camera, which can be nice sometimes as a DM if you want to have both yourself and the game going from it. The negatives to Zoom is that if you aren't paying for the premium Zoom of $15 a month, you have a 45-minute max before it disconnects all of you. The other one is Google Meet. The positive is that there's no time limits there. The negatives, the multi-screen support isn't quite as good as Zoom. So, pitfalls of the online Dungeons and Dragons experience. Like any activity that goes from in-person to remote, there can be a struggle with maintaining engagement. And it doesn't just fall on the player or the dungeon master. Like any good Dungeons and Dragons campaign, it takes the effort from both of them. The first is distraction. You're at the computer and you have the internet at your fingertips. You know, that can definitely be very distracting. You can be checking your email, or you can look for an article or something with the best of intentions, and you end up in a black hole of reading it, and then you don't realize what happened the last 10 minutes. So my solutions are, for the players, try and minimize the extra screens and things going on around you. Try not to tempt yourself when it's possible. As the dungeon master, I recommend, games can take a long time. They can be a couple hours, so they can take an entire evening or afternoon. Set up some breaks. Give people some time where they can check that email or use the restroom and all that. It's good for helping people to be able to refocus. And second part is engagement. As I'm sure everyone here knows, when you're in an online meeting, usually only one person can talk at a time, and combat in Dungeons and Dragons can also be lengthy. So, I think that falls. There are different things you can do. As a dungeon master, if you notice a person hasn't talked or engaged with the game in a while, you can try and put something in there, put something that only their character might notice, or have another character in the game interact with them, talk to them. As a player, with combat being lengthy, the best thing you can do is be prepared and know what you want to do next. That's always a big key. Paying attention can alter it sometimes, but if you got a pretty good idea, that really speeds it up and keeps things moving along. So, in conclusion, pen and paper role-playing was already moving towards becoming fully playable digitally, and they really stepped up this game during their pandemic. You can play pen and paper and dice games without any of those things now. It's pretty cool. Between Discord and the other meeting platforms, it's easier than ever to meet up with your friends online. And, there will always be unique pitfalls when you replace an in-person experience with a digital one, but it's still a way to get together and see your friends and connect and, keep in contact during these tough times that are hopefully closer to the end now than the beginning. But, that is my presentation. Thank you.
Wonderful, Matt. And so I want to just acknowledge these guys because the class was online. And as you've heard from the two presenters, the online space is challenging It's not something we've grown with. Like, it's been a development that we've been doing as the technology has been advancing. But as Matt and Alex has shown, that is where the future is. So understanding the technical tools and all of the new platforms that are coming is how you're going to succeed in this new world, this post-pandemic world. And sometimes getting to success starts with having fun. And these were great examples of how you can make technology appealing to yourself, fun, engaging, a community experience. So I want to thank you guys very much for showing and for revealing of yourselves and telling us about how you've been able to deal with the pandemic and also negotiate this fast moving technology space that we're in. So again, thank you guys for that very in-depth presentation. So this is definitely new to me, and I invite everybody to unmute and ask them any questions about their presentation. Kola?
I found it fascinating. I mean, those games. I played some other games, but not these ones. They are really challenging, and I was trying to debate. Okay, which one do I go first? I find out, is it the one that Matt did, or is it the one that Alex did? Because I found it challenging. You know, both are really challenging. But my question though then is that for, let's say, a beginner that wants to get into the dungeon, or so, what would be your suggestion to them, Matt? You know.
I would probably say for the beginners, you know, I think it's very much a group based activity. So if you have some friends that are playing and it looks neat, people are always happy to go and explain some of it in the beginning. And like, as far as understanding the basic rules and like a good place to start, I thought that D&D Beyond, when you go to creating a character, that kind of gives you an idea of some of the things you're doing and you're constructing. And it's also, you know, it's about having fun and coming up with a concept or something that would be fun to you in it, you know?
Exactly. And I'm happy to hear about that, because I know some of us have ended up just drinking during this COVID, you know, instead of dealing with using games and all that to get engaged and all that, you know.
They don't have to be mutually exclusive.
I know what you mean. But you know, and I see, but you know, there are a lot of on the side note, that VTA situation. I don't know if you guys were aware of the VTA company in San Jose, where the guy went in and shot his own co-workers, and then that shut down the transportation system in San Jose. And now AC Transit had to help with because they got the rail and then they got the buses. I'm talking about the VTA in, but it's been on the news, you know, maybe, but it's mainly on the local news. But the guy, they said COVID was part of the problem. He was not getting along with coworkers in the first place. He didn't like the co-workers, and then his ex-wife says that he did this, he did that. He was bringing home problems every time from work to home. So they ended up, all that happened during, you know, COVID. But they didn't know that he was going to act it out. He's been threatening and he's saying he was going to kill the co-workers. And this COVID, that kind of escalates the whole thing, and it happened last week, and where he ended up killing 9 people, and he killed himself when the sheriff showed up and asked him to drop the gun and all that. He just killed himself. So it was a sad thing. So I'm happy to know that there are things going on online, like what Matt and and Alex shared about these games and stuff like that, because we are social beings. Humans are social beings. We need to socialize, and unfortunately, we couldn't as much as we like because of COVID. So I would like to know more from Alex too, about, because he was talking about those platforms that he was using for the game, the one that slows it down. And if Alex, are you there?
Oh yes, here I am.
So could you explain that to us? The one that you said was, how did you find out? Is it by trial and error that you came up with that, or you read about it earlier on?
Well, sometimes during our experience with Zoom, like sometimes like one time, like we were using Zoom to play Jackbox, and then I noticed like the game started to lag,
Okay, exactly. I see your point.
and then
Oh,
and there were many people involved.
hmm oh.
Lights on and videos on.
hmm Now, so the rest of us who are busy maybe dealing with, does it really affect us too at home when we have people like you who are on game, the bandwidth is affected by those of us who are trying to do maybe the little business work or try to, what's your experience with that?
Sometimes, usually with even with that, well, since sometimes like the bandwidth, it depends on like what you're using to use Zoom for. It's said
hmm
that probably from all my experiences, like I guess the more bandwidth you're using, or the more like tools that are activated to on Zoom, then probably gonna slow down the bandwidth.
Okay, all right. Then what about neighbors?
Neighbors,
Does it affect neighbors if you got gamers in
no, with
on the same
neighbors,
street?
usually, well, with neighbors, it's usually, well, we mostly been doing it at home, and neighbors can't really get on the internet unless you gave them the access credentials.
Mhm. No, yeah, no, I don't mean about them getting on the game, but about them using the internet maybe to check their emails or
With
maybe
neighbors,
Mhm.
well, with
Because some
neighbors,
people.
it's it's really hard to say because I usually have like my personal like Wi-Fi at home to use,
Okay, okay, I got you. All right.
and plus I don't have housemates.
Oh, okay. All
Wonderful.
right.
I would like to bring in Fabian, Saint, and Raul. I would like to get your guys' experience with technology and a little bit of how you guys have used technology to get through the pandemic yourselves.
Hi, Luis here. Sorry, I couldn't change the name. Well, first of all, let me congratulate both of you. As a gamer myself, both presentations were very, very interesting. So it was very, very refreshing. Um, I think for all of us, it has been a real challenge at the beginning to find new platforms that they say to do the things we normally do with other people. Um, I would also, if I may, I would like to ask Alex and Matt how that experience was for you guys finding these platforms out of the blue. Maybe you were obviously gamers before this, right? On your rubber, but how was it for you to find this and how do you think that that helped you to learn more about how networks and the internet itself work, if I may?
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I think definitely like I've done a little bit of Roll20, but as far as like learning how to set up and configure things and run different parts of Discord and stream, like um, I learned a lot of things streaming here from when we were doing the class online, and then applied it to our games, and it made the actual streaming of our game sessions better through the parts I picked up. Uh, but I played some Quiplash with friends too. It's interesting the tips and tricks you really pick up and learn from it. Just different little networks and which programs work better, and it's nice on that because I had experience with now Zoom, Google Meet, and Discord, and I've been able to compare and contrast and what features are important and good to me in those ones.
Nice. Alex, how did you hear about Jackbox TV?
Well, one day, like I guess last year, as we were progressing out of through the pandemic, that it was one of my friends, that was hosting some sort of online game night, and the platform she was using was Jackbox TV.
Nice. And then Discord. You mentioned Discord. Tell me more about that. You've seen it before?
I have seen it before, a couple months into the pandemic when we moved to online game nights, not even like just Jackbox, but even the Cards Against Humanity online.
Oh wow! I didn't even know they had Cards Against Humanity online.
Yeah, they do. It's just sometimes again, just like Quiplash, it depends on your audience, and that can be very subjective.
And you also mentioned schools. Did you have experience using these platforms with your school outside of us?
Yes,
Tell us more.
because the school, they couldn't do any events, they couldn't even have classes or anything, so it was all online.
And they use Discord?
Sometimes Discord and sometimes Zoom.
Oh, great. Well, Luis, I hope that answered your question. Thank you for bringing that up. Raul, Fabian, do you guys have some feedback?
Yes, sir. Yes, well, more than a question, I'd just like to comment on their presentations. I have to admit that all of us we have had to adapt to this new reality. I've seen it, sometimes I think about it, I'm like, this has gotten really far because we do everything from our phones now. We can even have an online class from our phones, and I'm not a gamer, but I have some friends that do play online, and wherever they're at, what they'll do is they'll plug in their cell phone to the computer, and then they'll have another equipment right next to them so that they can play faster and hit controls and buttons faster. And that's what I'm saying. This has gotten so far that we haven't even noticed. That's how far it went. That just from one day to another, we're playing online games with people from all over the world, and we're making bank payments through an application, and I saw this little kid playing hunting games, and I saw him playing on the computer, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He says, "I went hunting." And yeah, he was playing, he was hunting. I was like, "Well, interesting." And I know that for sure it probably might not be the same as playing with someone next to you, but I know that and I've seen people that they just with the mic and the speaker, they have regular conversations. And I was hearing about this Call of Duty that they help each other, and they tell each other to watch out, depending where they're going, so they help each other out just like if they were in the same room. But yeah, that's all I have to come. Thank you both for sharing.
That was great, Raul. And I like how you brought up all the other games too. The interaction and how, despite whatever we think, that's where the future is. That's where they're going. And if I may, I was in Nevada or somewhere like that, and these guys were going through the city looking for things that were on their phone. Did anybody hear about this game? These things are supposed to, you see them on your phone, but you can't see them in real life. And they're walking around asking people, "Hey, are you looking for the apple? Are you looking for the thing?" And they're walking through the town. And that just shows you how fast and how far this is going. Fabian, were you going to make a comment on that?
Oh yeah, the name of the game actually it's Pokemon Go. I have it on my phone,
Yeah,
and
that's it.
sometimes I go walking and I'm playing, but it's there, but it's not there at the same time. Yeah. So, however, I would like both of you guys to just to say congratulations. I like both presentations. I'm not a gamer myself. However, I took some notes and I'm probably downloading some stuff you shared with us.
That's great.
And more than a question, I would like to know how did the classes help you guys to go through the pandemic? Because yeah, we have all the tools and some games to just spare some time, but I think it's also great to learn something new every time we got the chance to do it. So my question is, how did this course and the classes help you to go through the pandemic as well?
Well, with Discord, it's obviously mostly fun and games, but classes are like for online, it's like, basically you don't have any interaction, and basically sometimes they don't even do examinations sometimes, or you could just like with some online classes I did in the past, you just sit at your computer, go through, print all your notes in one place, use the internet, answer it, ace it. They don't really care. They
Well,
can't see.
I think Fabian is talking about this class, our class.
But this class,
Yeah.
well, online, and it's online, and then you can when it comes to examinations, you don't have a time limit, and you can go back to all your notes, and you can probably take it at least 2 if not 3 times.
So how was the interaction? How was the interaction during the class? Did you learn anything in the class?
Oh, me? I learned a lot during the class with the presentations of certain topics.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I
Very like
I learned a lot. I
this
had
will be a distraction-free environment.
Awesome. Matt?
yeah no I knew some stuff about computers, but I wasn't exactly very Microsoft literate as far as like knowing all the different tips and tricks in Word, and I knew generally what Excel was, but I had never had any experience in it before, and you know took that and we really ran with it, and now I feel so much more comfortable around all these programs. And it's nice too. We'd have the meetups every few days, but anytime I needed help, I could just text Alpha, and we would go and we would work on it and work through it together. We'd go before some parts, we'd go through what the outline of each section was going to be together, just so we had a common frame of reference, and that was really useful. So we knew where we were coming from each and every part of it. And yeah, things. I have a couple friends that work in big data and databases, and learning through Excel and the other programs.
Access.
Access. There you go. It's escaping my mind through Access, but it allowed me to ask them some more questions and understand a little bit more of what they did with their work-wise, and how to get specific results and all that from data. It was interesting.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Well, Cola, you're muted. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna give the last
yeah,
word
yeah,
to
thanks.
Cola. We've reached the 1 o'clock, and I want to respect everybody's time, but I want to give Cola the last word. And once again, thank you so much, Alex and Matt, for the time that we've had together and the learning that we've shared together, because I learned as well. So I really appreciate that. And then Fabian, Luis, and Raul, I appreciate your feedback, and thank you for the support of Matt and Alex. And so that's it for me. Have a great day, guys.
Thank you very much.
Cola,
Thank you.
Cola, your last
So,
words.
Just to wrap up, I thank you. I mean, everyone that, first of all, our guests, because this makes it more fun. And then the students, what I really was when listening to even Alex, I noticed that there was a little difference in the terms of the way online is done at some schools and how it is done here. Because here it sounds like it's kind of structured where you're able to meet with the instructor, chat with the instructor. It's not just to just have all the your notes for you. I dealt with that too in my MBA program where everything is just there. You read it, you take the test, and you move on to the next chapter. So, but we don't do it like that here. And I know that Alex and Matt can attest to that. They have that interaction with the instructor. It's not like when I was doing the MBA, it was like I just have a 1 week. It's what they call office time. And then if you catch up with the professor, fine. If you didn't catch up, tough. You know, but that was the online. But here is what's called virtual learning, where you're going to have the interaction with instructors. And I'm very pleased with how I'm not going to say it's easy, but I tell you, but it was worth it. What the people did, the tenacity they put into it, and then the patience of the instructor with the students. And I think I'm really looking for more. And I thank you, Luis. Good to see Luis too. Yeah, because that name threw me off for a second. Yeah, because I know Luis also is really just someone I've warmed up to and know, and he is an instructor also himself. So it's quite a pleasure. And this is Luis can teach you A plus, and so and one of the courses that we offer. And I know that Matt and Alex will be coming along, so to join that class will be easy. So I'm excited to see you guys, and I'm excited that you'll be in good hands with A plus. Thank you, Alpha.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for coming. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.